But how do I take it? Kill the man. Find him down, hunt him down, and punch him in the balls. Because that's the kind of person I am. I'm petty and vindictive.
Hey, it's working.
You hear how much better it sounds, too? It's almost like I had time this weekend to get something done. But I really didn't. We're recording? I'm recording. You recording? We're all recording. Door's not going to burst open here shortly, so we everything's going to go fine. It's time to play bikes. It's time for a opening poem. As usual, spring is getting closer. Fat Tuesday is here. I won't, but I probably should give up drinking beer. Sam's going sunny. Paul is just a bit later. I'm going to stay here and be a total effing hater. Because I don't get to go to the warm weather. And I'm upset about that.
Not even Walla Walla?
Well, I'm thinking about that. That is my contemplation. That is where I'm going. And I put that out there and so everybody knows so they can come, find me and yell at me and embarrass me in the grocery store. Welcome to episode 515 of the longest standing podcast in the sport of cycling. This is the one and the only Packfiller Cycling podcast. Think of us as a post-ride beer with several friends and one asshole. I'm potentially that asshole. My name is Pat Bulger. And boy, do I sound like I did a while ago. The nasal voice is back. I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't think it's a good thing. But it's not a sinus infection. It's just a cold.
That's good.
It's just a cold. So Paul's drinking bubbly, so, he doesn't want to get... Never mind. I'll say that. I'll save that for later. You guys, tonight's prologue question is as follows. If you were forced to live like a World Tour pro for 1 week, but you could only pick one marginal gain to apply to your normal life, such as having a dedicated soigneur, a personal chef to weigh your morning oatmeal, or a full-time mechanic, which one are you taking and why? All right? You got a week with one of the perks of a pro rider. The OG3 is here, and we call it when the Waples are gone, and that is what we are doing tonight. In other words, if your crank length is fine and you can keep taking your Ozempic. And I should have not stapled his paper. So first and foremost, in our introductions, he went through a terrible breakup this weekend, and he seems to be feeling better about it anyway. Mr. Paul Main, how are you, man?
Doing all right.
How was that breakup?
It was good. It was cleansing. I even had one of my coworker inspector guys said, "Hey, I just saw you on Instagram." So, yeah.
If you don't know what's going on, no, Paul is not getting a divorce. It was you gotta find our Instagram and check it out. Paul, what would you take as a World Tour pro perk for 1 week?
Soigneur, without a doubt.
You take the soigneur.
I can work on my own bike. I can weigh my own food. I can make my own food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's
I can't rub
the
myself.
massage.
Yeah.
You want the massage.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going to start early. You said I can't rub myself, and I'm like, well. Next off, last week he blended with the blue lighting so much the people thought he was a floating head. Mr. Jackson Bulger, how are you, man?
Was there? Oh, because the blue behind me.
Some of the shots, the blue behind you and all the Seahawks blue. There were a couple shots that caught you, and it was just like it was almost
funny.
A perfect match with your hat and your shirt.
I didn't even notice. It's funny.
How are you, man?
Good, thanks.
What are you taking as a pro perk?
Definitely the mechanic.
You are.
I've got everything else pretty dialed. Massage gun will rub myself.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, we're on.
I'm glad you paused. That was good.
Yeah. But just like the taking your mind off of like, will my bike work today would be such a nice thing.
Yeah.
And then I could learn from him too, or her. I could learn from them and then like actually be able to work on my own bike better. I can do most of it, but not all of it.
Okay. Finally, I destroyed my back this last weekend, all in the name of entertaining content, and that'll be coming up hopefully here in about 2 or 3 weeks. Here, you can see what I did to myself. Paul and Sam were fortunate enough to witness it, and it was not a pretty sight. It was not a pretty sight. I'm Pat Bulger, and since you guys took soigneur and mechanic, I was going to go with mechanic too, but I'll take the chef. I'll take a good chef for a week. That'd be interesting to see. What kind of meals? But I'd have to put a caveat on it that they're not like going to be like super.
You'd be eating white rice and
you think so?
Bland chicken breast for
you think
a
so?
week. Yeah.
Oh, it wouldn't be like high quality stuff, would it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I'm taking the mechanic.
Yeah.
I'm taking the mechanic. Do you have one of those massage guns, Jackson?
Yeah.
You do?
I really actually, I enjoy it quite a bit. It's been really nice, like, since my muscles are not, the best for running.
Yeah.
It's super nice to just, like, use it on my thighs and things like that, so, yeah.
Do you have one, Paul?
No.
I have one, but I've honestly never used it. I think I've used it once.
It's really nice.
My neck hurts right now. I wonder if I should throw it on my neck tonight.
I would say so.
Yeah. It's an age thing. You get to the point where you're just like, turn your head and you're like, that's it. I'm going to be sore for 4 days now. Shit. I hate it. Gentlemen, in the check-in goes, as with all shows, I must ask, how is everybody cycling life?
Go ahead, Paul. I know you got outside.
You got outside?
Yeah, 2 times. Yeah, Saturday and Sunday. So.
Oh, shit.
After we did a little thing on Sunday, I went out and rode. That's where I got really cold.
Oh.
And came home, and then I got chilled.
Oh, shit.
And then had to do a few things, and, still in my... Because it started raining on me towards the end. And, my hands, you've seen me in that situation.
Yeah.
So...
So what's your so 2 outdoors? How many? After the breakup? I take it there were no indoors.
I did. Before I did the little breakup thing, I've been on the rollers. I haven't used the trainer probably since January.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Wow.
I've just been on the rollers outside in my little stuba.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think I've got two or 3 sessions on that, and then the 2 outdoors.
Wow. God, that's a good week.
No.
5? 5 rides?
The outside riding was good.
Okay.
And I got a little story to share.
Oh.
So, again, I just Saturday was just like a spur of the moment. I had to get out. I was getting antsy. I'm tired of being inside. And told my wife I'm going to take off for a ride. She goes, okay. Off I go. I start going. Traditional loop. Anybody in Spokane area knows 7-mile loop. Everybody. There's tons of people.
Yeah.
And as I get on it, I see a guy up ahead, and he's riding pretty good. And I'm thinking, wow, there's a carrot. So I push myself, and I'm thinking, I should have closed that faster. And I finally caught up next to him, and I kind of waved as I went by and stuff. And then all of a sudden in the corner of my eye, I see his shadow, and he's on my wheel, which doesn't bother me. We've made this clear. I don't mind if people do that. And so he's going up to 7 Mile, and I chatted with him a little bit. He said, thanks for the tow. I said, oh, no problem. He goes, I'm going to be turning here. And I said, same with me. And so I started riding with him, and his name was Monty. Okay. And I'm thinking, wow, he's really pushing on the other side of the river, heading back home. And I'm like, man, I don't know how much longer I can do this. And I'm trying to talk the whole time. And all of a sudden he goes, I'm going to just, I'm taking a chill for the rest of the way. Okay. And I thought, oh, he's trying to speed up to drop. I got to get this guy to shut up. And then finally he's just like, screw it. I'll just pull the chute. And then pull the chute, and that'll do it.
So you think your hypothesis is that he was driving him so crazy, he was being driven
like,
so crazy that he was like,
shut up. No, that's in his head. It's going,
either I turn left here or I go right and I go into the river.
And we're by he couldn't go right or left or anything. So he just said, yeah, I'm just going to slow down. I'm going to chill out from this point on. And I heard his parachute go
like,
out.
Oh, that's okay. I'll slow
down. So anyway,
Jip,
I'll talk to you later. So
that's funny.
I got to learn to not talk to people, I guess. They just don't want to hear me jab.
Oh, no, not at all.
Oh, my jibba jabba.
But Jackson, speaking of cycling, how's it going?
It's going well, yeah. I'm just sticking with the same plan I've been doing. It's kind of nice to supplement, a Sunday hour ride with a different form of exercise lately. Did that on Sunday.
Still running.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying it. It's a great for... I'm really interested to see what base mileage or like something a little bit longer does for me this cycling season, because that's pretty much what running is. You just keep the same tempo the whole time, hopefully. But that, and then I've been putting in a lot of work with the weights too.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on, man. You think you're going to be ready for the big ones?
Yeah. I think so. I'm really excited. I was telling Paul on the way in, this weekend is looking, Sunday specifically is looking pretty nice. So maybe trying, if it's not frozen on the ground, to go outside for the first time this year. I think that's when I'll really test myself, to see how the winter trainings put up.
Of course, when we're all starting to think about this, it is currently dumping snow on us right now here in Spokane.
It'll be gone tomorrow.
1 to 3, they're saying, 1 to 3 inches. But of course, but then we're going to be back in the 40s next week, so hopefully we'll be good to go there. I came back. I was able to put a good 4 days in this week, which isn't great, but Trainer Road tells me I'm going to expect a 2% FTP increase. What is 2%? Really? Is that just like I'm wearing different shoes? These shoes are stiffer, so you can ride that much faster. I mean, that seems pretty little.
You roll your shoulders in just a little.
Yeah.
There we go.
Bend my elbows. Mm-hmm. Yeah, finally get into that aerodynamic position. Speaking of which, we did have some fun filming, which I had mentioned in the opener, the tease there. Upcoming series I'm putting together called the Gruppetto. It's directly what had caused me to injure my back this weekend. Premise is to ride old tech and see what the hell is going through our minds back in the day and to see if we can compare it to today. So our first episodes come up in March, and they consist of, I think I can spoil a little bit, an old 1987 funny bike. So we're seeing that. And I rode it once, and then we also filmed myself getting fit by Sam, and you and Paul and Sam were there, Abel, and my balls have thoroughly been busted. I mean, when I walk in and there's comments about my top tube being curved, which is good for my belly, it's going to be ripe. It's and no beer included, so it's going to be good. So if you want to tune into those, please stay tuned because they're a lot of fun to shoot. So we're going to go with that. So I want to talk about a couple things for the upcoming season in the show tonight. First, I want to put Jackson on the spot a little bit and ask him about this super team concept that you've been putting together for Tour de Bloom. Drink. Mm-hmm. And what you guys are doing here, and how many ethical violations it is ringing in my personal mind. But I know I'm stepping off my soapbox. I'm not doing it. But it used to be that you just don't ride with the arch enemies. You don't team up. What are you guys doing?
Well, so this year for Tour de Bloom, what some of the Spokane riders are going to do is we are all going to team up. There's, I would say, 2, maybe 3 teams coming together and choosing to work together for the collective good to be able to compete a lot more than we could say it was a smaller group, which is really exciting. I've never gotten the opportunity to really gun for something like that. I will not be the person that we are riding for. That has never been my intention in this. But I think it'll be exciting to be able to compete at a not necessarily higher level, but to compete a little bit more than we were last year.
This is arguably one of the biggest races. I mean, it is the biggest race in our region, and it could be even one of the bigger races West Coast, or even as we go there. What do you guys expect going in? I mean, I'm not meaning this meanly. I'm not calling you a redneck or anything. Don't get mad at me.
Just go.
But considering how you guys have done in the past and how you guys would, what would the joining of 2 formerly rival teams, what do you guys hope for that to accomplish?
Well, last year, I went in thinking, I'm just here to ride. This year, I'm also kind of thinking I'm just here to ride, but maybe with the ability with more riders to be able to contribute to having someone in the team place a little bit higher up in the GC. That would be the goal. Maybe getting closer to a stage for myself. That would be something that's exciting. But that's that's the collective thought behind it. Because, Sam, David, and myself last year, we went there to just have fun. Yeah. And that's ultimately what the goal will always be every time we go there to race. But this year, I think it's a little bit more fun to actually have fun and compete at the same time.
And is it weird that, the Tuesday night, let's say, the week before, we have our weekly training series, you're going after against these guys, you're shutting things down, might be some some post-race, ball busting and things like that, to all of a sudden kind of shut that off. Is that easy for you guys to do, or is it,
Well, I think that's something that's pretty special about the community here in Spokane that we've got, is that, yes, we're all willing to toe the line and kind of go after one another, but in reality, it's just a race on Tuesday night, and we all get along just fine, or on Thursday night, and we all get along just fine afterwards. You can turn it off, and I think that's what's special about the type of people we have here.
Paul, is this just sacrilege? Is this just like the Clampetts and the whatever
Hatfields and McCoys?
Hatfields and McCoys suddenly just going, yeah, let's get together and fight the bad guys just this once, and we're going to shoot each other on Monday.
Yeah, I've been on composite teams with rivals, and it's worked out fine. You do sometimes with composite teams, the alliances, you'll start seeing the split if there's a couple of guys from two different teams in the running for the GC.
Yeah,
not always, but sometimes, so there's always that potential. Yeah, I mean, if you guys go at it, I mean, Spokane has a great cycling and very supportive cycling community, no matter what team. There's not really a bunch of hatred, I don't think so.
No.
I mean, we have personal rivals that down deep, you would never know on the surface. I'm sure everybody aims for another particular person. So, yeah. For me, that's, looking at a team, even when we had Washington Trust Classic, 5 is a good manageable size team.
Yeah.
A little bit bigger gets, and we were on a team in 19, well, you were in 89 and 90.
Yeah. Team
Spokane. We did fairly well, but we had up to 13 on that team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
But there was one particular person that everybody decided we're going to work for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, ready? Roger.
Drake. You don't count, though, because it's bubbly. Yeah,
a little bit.
Same with Sam, though, Now, this is another question. And you can tell I'm kind of encroaching upon sensitive topics when I start to stammer a little bit, but sponsor issues. When you've got the biggest race of the year, you've got sponsors on our team kits, but you guys go to the biggest race of the year with a neutral kit. Now, I know the sponsors of our team are going to be
on
cool
our shorts.
Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. Are you guys wearing the
so we'll
blue
do
and the green shorts with a different kit?
Yeah. That's what everybody's going to do. We're all going to wear our own team shorts, but we're going to have the same jersey.
Okay. And this can be done with USAC.
Sam has already made a connection with race directors and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And they've told us that this is all completely fine.
Oh, okay.
So
cool.
We've checked our boxes, dotted our I's, crossed our T's, made sure that everything's professional, so.
And none of the other teams have any kind of, sponsorship issues or anything like that?
Nope.
Wow. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm anxious to see how it goes, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I don't think I'm being Mr.
Yeah,
Mr.
I'm
Poopy Pants.
really excited for it. I think this is going to be a really cool opportunity for us all, and I think at the heart of it is to just have fun.
Yeah.
It's not really that serious, and I like going in with that mentality.
Sure.
Okay. Well, right on, man.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it.
Thank you. I'm excited.
I haven't registered yet. I'm going to register. I almost pulled the trigger today, but something that held me back, and I bring this up every time this time of year, is the fact that it is $320, $340 if you round up a little bit after the fees and things like that. $340 is a lot of money. I saw another race that we were trying before we went on air this evening. We were looking around to see. The website says it's a one-day event, but the website also lists 3 days on the that the calendar is taking up. So there's a lot of confusion going on there, and it listed that as a $100 day for a road race. I bring this up every year because I truly think it is getting out of hand. I think race entry fees are absolutely astronomical, and we've got a sport that costs so freaking much, and it just keeps getting more and more expensive. What do you guys think about it in terms of paying $100 for a single day, even though you're not getting Kirkland cookies? I mean, I ask this every year, and I'm going to probably keep asking it because I know it's a hot button topic on a lot of cyclists' agendas. When we're, everything in this sport, a sport that started for the common man and woman, a sport for the working person is now a sport that is just strictly catering to high-end, high-expense market. And it's bullshit. But I also know, as a race promoter myself, that you need to cover your ass. You don't want to walk away with a loss. And you would like to walk away with some pocket change for your time and effort. I'm not going to lie. You want to walk away with a little bit of money because you busted your ass for this. We do it for the love of the sport, but we also do it because, time is not free. But what are we rolling into when the fact that everything is so expensive? Especially when you think about the terms of the beginning cyclist who's going, okay, my bike's this, my shoes this, my helmet this, my kit this, travel expenses. Now you're going to make me pay $350 to do a stage race.
Yeah, I think. You kind of answered a lot of the questions.
They were
which
more
I really
just like,
appreciate.
what the fuck?
I think covering their ass is a really big part of it. We were talking to one of our new teammates, about it, and he was telling us the other week that typically when you pay some sort of entry fee, it is like a good majority is the insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
just so they can not go to prison or get sued.
Well, keep in mind, as somebody who puts it on, insurance is a rider cost.
Yeah,
specific, and it is included in the entry fee, but it's not more than like $4 to $5 a day.
Yeah, but anyways,
No.
I
So now
I
we're
agree.
at $235.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also another thought that comes to my mind is, I find that as somebody who doesn't, race full time or who works full time instead, I choose to prioritize my races. I typically have a series and then Tour de Bloom, and maybe I'll add another one in there. But it all kind of depends on how you choose to, prioritize your funds. Like I would prefer to go on some vacations and put money there. But I bet you some of these guys that are working, part-time, that are working up to that or are in that Cat 1 category are probably prioritizing a lot more of their finances towards paying race entry fees. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely an expensive world. Don't get me wrong. Every single time I look at that Bloom entry fee, I'm like, holy hell, that's a lot of money. But then again, price increases as time goes on for them. But yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow, and I don't have any answers as to why the hell it can't go down.
It's never going to go down. It's like housing prices. It's like inflation. You just hope it levels off at some point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think when it comes to races, I know they're expensive, and I know I side on the side of promoters. There is, because USAC has their demands of insurance, and there for a while, and I don't know if it's still there, they had to insure even the caravan.
Yeah.
So there's not just per rider, but the rider, where's that money going to come from? Prize listing, in order to get a certain category race, was there A, B, and C level, I think, in road race. At least they used to be. I haven't read the rules for a while. You had to have like a $25,000 purse to be at this level,
sure.
$100,000 purse. And so when you're trying to bring in quality riders, you have to somehow come up with this money. So we all pay into that. Because if they don't, they're not going to be coming. You're not going to have high quality riders coming to, Ronde van Palouse that we did. When you get a chunk of rock on a board, which was fine for me. I mean, but the entry wasn't all that expensive, and we're out there for shits and giggles. So there's, for the weekend, like we were talking about that one race, it was $100. If it's one day, that's no way that I paid that much. Yeah. But people don't, in my opinion, a lot of people pay a lot of money for gravel fondos.
They do.
Yeah.
Triathlons, if you want to talk about money, look at an entry on a triathlon.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's not just road racing. And closing down roads like even I know that Ryan at EPO trying to go through to have 3 crits over in Everett, Washington. I mean, he's got to get permission. Everything you have to do is just so time consuming, and everybody wants to make sure their covered, that they have money if something happens on my territory, blah, 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 or how is this going to be covered if I have to shut down my business because of this, that,
Sure.
blah.
Yeah.
So I give a little more credit to road racing for the price. But I think the Gran Fondo thing is like, this is ridiculous. And I've done a couple where I'm like, what did I just pay for?
Yeah.
It was a giant group ride with Kirkland muffins and Coke.
So when you guys saw $340, you didn't bat an eye.
No, because I will say last year was, and I say this every time, for me personally, it was probably one of the worst weekends of racing that I've ever had in my entire life.
Sign me up again.
Well, exactly, though. That's the thing. Like, what's bringing me back? There was something special about it. I don't know what it was. Being down at that crit was fun, and I got pulled from it.
Yeah.
But I still had a great time. I still got to see beautiful places. I still got to go on these amazing rides and push myself further than I've ever been pushed. And it's like, I think that's what I'm paying for there, is an experience unlike any other race that I've ever had. Even my wife, she and I have had conversations about it. She was like, this just felt different. This felt a lot more like, and this is absolutely no shade to any of the other races I participated in.
No, you're talking.
Yeah, but like this just felt more legit being around this type of environment. So if I see somebody who's not even, directly in the race saying something like that, then they have earned my however many dollars at this point.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I mean, I'm completely hypocritical because I paid $96 for the Afraid of Fondo, which I am going to do. Gravel road / off-road Fondo. I am going to travel there in my RV which gets $10 a gallon. I mean, 10 miles a gallon. Jeez, head's full of phlegm. I am going to stay in a campsite and all that stuff. So when I walk away from the whole thing, I'm going to be out probably $300 for one day. Did I sign up for it? Yeah. Did I bat an eye? No.
And was it worth the experience?
No, it's horrible. It felt terrible. Yeah.
Because I think...
But it's the same thing.
Yeah.
With you, I'm going to go and do it again this year because it gave me such a huge training boost. And it is coming at the end of my, so-called, training camp week. And I want to have a big way to finish it off. And so, yeah, I'm going to do it again because, God damn it, I don't want to bonk this time.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. The reason why I say experience is because I feel like when we boil it down, like that is essentially what we're paying for.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, you do get stuff out of it here and there. You get a pair of socks, you get a shirt, all that stuff. You can buy whatever you want. But did you have a good time? And do you want to involve yourself in that good time again?
Yeah.
I think that's what we're paying for.
I have no idea what I paid for BWR in Montana last year, but I guarantee you it was at least $100. At least.
Yeah, I think it was.
And I find some of those, that's where you can get dicey on some of these race entry fees. Because I feel like a big name like BWR is obviously going to bring a little bit more money.
Sure.
But do they bring the name? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Do they kind of give you that experience that you're hoping that a big name like BWR brings? And from the sounds of it, did they?
I would say BWR, if nobody had ever attended the one, I don't know what the other ones are like, but the one in San Diego that we attended, this was nothing compared to the one in San Diego. Okay. I love Bozeman. The host city is beautiful. Yeah, the course was brutal. It was a great course. But that being said, the like you say, the spectacle maybe element of it. It just kind of was like, the village had like 4 tents. 4 vendors, and you're like, I remember the one in San Diego had like 20.
Right.
And so, sometimes, as you say, you kind of pay for the pomp and circumstance.
You pay for the lead, but when you get the understudy, you're a little bit disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it. And I'm sure a lot of people, had a great time. I know that they had a lot of big names at that race, and once again, maybe entry fees are what pay those people to show up.
Yeah, I'm sure the sponsors pay for their entry fee. I mean, even when we had...
No, I mean prize money.
Prize money
for those guys to show up, and those types of ways in which to encourage these guys to come from probably a long way away, because I don't think there are a whole lot of really... Well, there probably might be some high-end gravel riders from that area, but probably not. So, I don't know. Do you guys think it is becoming a for-profit industry, or do you guys think that's just how much it costs to put on a bike race anymore?
That one right there.
Yep.
Which one?
The latter.
Second one.
It just costs that much more to put on a bike race.
I think it's insane.
And you think that's strictly in this country because of the insurance situation?
Insurance,
and
road
permits.
closures, police escorts. There's permitting.
Yeah.
It just piles up.
Yeah.
Everybody has their hand out.
You know what reminds me of the fact that of a group of us, I'm not going to name them by name because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. It reminds me of the stage race we all went to a couple of years ago, and we were amazed at how low the entry fee was.
It was all under.
Then we found out there were no road permits.
I was.
They did everything.
Yeah.
They did nothing to.
If the guy who told me about this is listening, it was hilarious because the way I found out about this was I got dropped at the first stage of Tour de Bloom, and we're riding next to each other, and he's like, "Oh, come to this race," and I'm like, "Oh, really? What happened to the other one?" He's like, "Ah, it was illegal."
But the strange thing is, it's recognized by USAC.
Yeah.
The points, so our results are in the.
It is.
It's like, how did they?
How
do
did that happen?
You know what?
I have no idea.
I looked into renewing my license today, and I noticed that I had some points that I could towards my upgrade.
Huh.
And I was like, where the hell did I get point? Yeah, I got third in that crit.
Yeah. It's crazy how long they stayed too. That was like 2 years ago. No,
Hey.
3 years ago.
They don't age, right? They don't age out. No.
Nope, never.
I'm not upgrading.
Oh, really?
I don't
Well,
want to
what
upgrade.
are
I'm
you
too
now?
old. Well, should I say this on the air?
Are you a 3 now?
I am actually a Cat 3. Yeah.
Nice. You could go to a 2. That's insane.
Well, I was a Cat 2 for decades.
Yeah.
And then I downgraded. And a lot of people might ask me why I downgraded. I downgraded just because.
Part of it because you had.
I had juniors that I was coaching.
juniors,
I wanted
so
to
you
race
can ride
with them.
with them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was part of it. So.
Cat 3 is the sweet spot.
It is.
You can race with all the fast guys, but you're not
Yeah,
having to
you
be
can
in
work
the Pro
full-time.
1-2.
Yeah. I was looking at Tour de Bloom registration, and the Cat 1-2 Masters group is probably going to be freaking fast, and the Cat 3-4 is probably still going to be fast, but not as fast. So.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So you're telling me there's a chance?
What are you guys registering for? Are you guys registering for the same race, or is
Yeah.
it different
Well,
races?
it's the same group.
Yeah,
we
it is.
scored
It's
separately.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
so
that's
it's,
nice.
So it's 40 plus Cat 4s and 5s. They're the most dangerous, not just
They
because
are.
of category, but they've come off of Zwift, and they're FTPs, pushing 300.
Yeah.
So they have all the power and no road control.
Oh, I thought you were going to say they're just really fast.
And they are fast.
Yeah.
And then
So should I race
the
the
50
next group up? But it'd probably
Good
be
luck.
too fast. It'd be too fast, right? Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you just like I mentioned last week. You just make note of that guy that just went. Whoop.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
that red Specialized SL8. I'm staying away from it.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's gonna take someone down.
Not picking specific bike brands
Yeah.
or anything like that.
I'll always pick it because of Sam's bike.
He's not here, so we
I
can
know.
nail him.
I would do
for
it even if it was him.
Okay,
He's
there
here.
we go. Hey, you guys, let's switch to the news. Whoa,
Coming in hot.
that was hot. That's a loud news headline. Tonight's headline is brought to us by Thomas Hammer Coffee. You guys, stay alert. Do it with flavor. Do not waste your bride or day with garbage coffee, roasted to perfection. And please stay tuned for our Packfiller Blend coming to stores and online soon. First story: UAE Tour. You guys been watching?
No. But I
haven't watched it.
essentially do on Instagram every day.
You're just catching the highlights, the little blips and the
Yep.
blurps. Second men's World Tour stage of the season is underway. Stage race of the season is underway in the Middle East. Isaac Del Toro. I think I said Isaac Del Toro in the Packfiller perspective, and I want to apologize right there. He took an early lead by winning the wind shortened stage 1 in Liwa. However, on stage 2 today, Remco Evenepoel, now with Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe, in case you weren't paying attention, seized the overall lead with a dominant performance in the 12K individual time trial, beating British specialist Josh Tarling by 6 seconds. Del Toro, 42 seconds down, setting up a major GC battle, and the race heads into the mountain finishes later this week. So I guess my panel questions for you guys are the Isaac Del Toro hype. He shocked the field, but Evenepoel, put 40 plus seconds into him. Is Del Toro actually ready to challenge a guy like Remco in tactical GC battle, or do you guys think he's still a year away from something like this?
I don't know. Guy's special though. He's pretty special. Watching him race yesterday, I was like, I see somebody else in him that's pretty good right now.
Yeah.
I 100% see Tade's riding in him a lot of just how he goes about it. Nobody else would do that except for Tade, what he did yesterday. But I really am interested to see how he can handle someone like Remco, because I think he's going to be better in the climbs than Remco's going to be. And he's got a pretty damn good team behind him too. So
yeah,
I would go out on a limb and say that Del Toro comes away with this more than Remco would. But I also don't know if Remco's had his off-season training. Whenever we've seen him race this year, it hasn't really been against, as we've said in the past, it's not been against the top-tier riders.
But
right?
he is just absolutely demolishing those other riders.
Right. And so part of me wonders if I was looking at it today, and I saw the result from the UAE Tour, and I was like, is Remco just a generational time trial talent, or is he a generational talent for Belgium?
Okay.
I'm trying to figure that out right now about him.
I'm trying to think with that. Most of his wins are solo.
Yeah.
But you could say the same with Tade. But he has to win. So he has absolutely no sprint.
No.
So I think it'll be interesting. There's a big climb in it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Today on the time trial, Del Toro lost quite a bit of time, but because he was the race leader, he had to go last. Mm-hmm. Everybody else, I don't know why, but they can pick the time. And the winds were increasing massively. Like I think it was like 5 kilometers an hour more by the time from the time Remco started to when Del Toro. So there was a headwind, so he probably lost a lot of time. Most of it, I think there was a big chunk of that 12K was in a headwind. So he's never going to beat Del Toro. Will never beat Remco in a
time
TT.
trial.
Never. And that's where Remco will always be able to make his anything that he lacks in the mountains is going to be in time trials.
Mm-hmm. It brings back a little, reminiscence of the Miguel Indurain years, where he would just absolutely destroy everybody in the time trials. But he was able to also maintain the damage, minimize the damage in the mountains, especially primarily in the Tour. Is Remco that kind of guy? Do you think that his work that he's doing in the mountains will be able to be sufficient enough to maintain? Do you even bring Tade's name into it, or is that just something that's not going to happen until Tade's on his way down?
I want Remco to get something. I will say, with his emotional issues sometimes that come up in racing. I still find myself kind of hoping for the guy in some case. He's been heaped all of this Belgian pressure on him, and we all know that being a great rider coming from Belgium, that is probably one of the hardest things you could do. Mm-hmm. But I will say at the same time, I just, year after year, I find a lot of people say Remco's been putting in the work. Remco's been doing a different type of training plan. Mind you, his crashes, I will put aside. That has been hampering his last few years of progression. And so maybe what I'm saying just is strictly down to that. But when I see him go up against a guy like Tade, who is explosive but also has the power to just hold it for hours, I don't see Remco beating somebody like that.
No, it just seems like that Raymond Poulidou kind of a thing, that he's just kind of born, unfortunately, under the wrong generation or the wrong time period, because if any other time Remco would have been the greatest. I mean, absolutely crushed and destroyed everybody in every way. And you can only imagine what this would do to anybody mentally, going, I am a once in a generation talent, but unfortunately, the gods reached out and blessed one guy that comes along once in 10 lifetimes. Yeah.
I mean, I think of Primoz Roglic. He wins that tour that Tade beat him that last stage. Imagine the reign that he would have had. Yeah. Say Tade's not around. We would have seen a Grand Tour winner of all of them
Yeah.
in Primož Roglic, but Tadej comes around and takes it away. It feels like a lot of these guys have been stripped of that because of they've just kind of hit the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah. And like I said, what does it do to you? We all, Paul, you and I recall a very close Tour de France finish between Laurent Fignon and Greg LeMond. What did that do to Fignon in the following years? You never really saw him at the front of a 3-week stage race again. The mental destruction it does to you.
I haven't read his book.
I haven't.
Fignon's.
No.
I want to. I know it's in English now, but I do recall somebody saying that took the wind out of his sails. Now, he had some victories afterwards. It's a couple of successful
classics.
Exactly.
Individual days and things like that. But
he was. That was the closest he was going to get since, what was it, 84 when he won, or was it 83? 82, 83.
83 and 84.
83, 84. Yeah.
Yeah, because won again in 85. Yeah, and then LeMond took over until he got shot. So no, and you wonder where, like you said, Primož would have been, or if that just was kind of a shit. These guys have the greatest coaches, the greatest psychologists, greatest psychiatrists in the world, but there's only so much you can take when you look at somebody who can generate 550 watts for 12 straight, for however long it takes.
Yeah.
It'd be frustrating.
You think too about his crashing. I don't want it to make it sound like I'm saying that his crashes are, strictly down to the fact that he lost a tour, but
they didn't help.
Part of me wonders if there's something a little mental in there about that, Maybe he doesn't trust himself as much because of that, one special moment. I'm completely speculating here, but mentality in cycling is definitely a piece that cannot be forgotten.
And you think, you even add into this mental game a writer like Jonas Vingegaard, you've heard him quoted in the press as saying, I have kids now. The game has changed.
Yeah.
And does that little thought creeping around in the back of your head change the game when the race goes for it? I would imagine.
Yeah. Psychology, especially in sport, is such an interesting thing. Because like you said, something like little and tiny that you don't even have during a race is still back there.
Absolutely.
Just eating at you some way, somehow. Yeah. And you can't even realize it. It's
I think it boils down to individual, how people deal with those situations, those pressures differently.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of interesting on what's
right here,
what's
you
occurring.
Assholes.
No.
Oh, sorry.
What's occurring? Geraint Thomas, he and Luke Rose podcast. They had Quinn Simmons. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm not even drinking.
That's the problem.
That's it. I can't get my head cleared. So anyway, he mentioned one when he was full. He was a world champion as a junior, Quinn Simmons, and he was going to come in when he got on the Trek team. He was going to set the world on fire, and he said he was in his first Tour de France, and he was in this long breakaway, and Wout bridged up, and I think it was 2022, bridged up to him, and once he bridged, he went, and he said, I was on his wheel, and I'm thinking, oh man, this is so awesome. Yeah. I am on the leader of the tour. It's like a dream come true.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he goes, I'm looking down, I'm doing 650 watts. And he's pulling away. And he thought, I don't even, he's just like, what am I doing here? Mm-hmm. This is insane. Because no one was able to do that. He could do that to other people, but now there's somebody else. And he even kind of mentioned, at least the way I took it, it kind of set him back a little bit. And you look at his career, I think he just kind of went, whoa.
Yeah.
I got to redirect myself. I'm not going to. I have to approach this at a different angle. So it boils down to how much you really want it. And if you got to make some adjustments mentally.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would blow you away, I tell you.
Oh, yeah. There's always going to be somebody faster, or somebody coming up right behind you.
Yeah.
And that's you either got to stay on top of it or you got to just sit back and have an ice cream and a beer and call it good or something like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Second news story, in case you guys didn't hear about this one, the Spanish Strada Bianca, Classica Jaén, Jaen. If I pronounced that wrong, I did it on purpose. Saw Tim Wellens again from UAE take solo victory after tactical masterclass by his team that neutralized favorite Tom Pidcock. However, the race was marred by a high-speed crash in the finishing stretch that left Maxime Van Gils with a fractured pelvis.
Yikes.
And earlier in the weekend, Biniam Gourmet secured his second win of the season at Classic Almera, benefiting from a textbook lead-up by Hugo Hofstetter in a crash-heavy finale. I don't know if you guys saw this about the Van Gils incident with Jan Christian from UAE, who has been getting a lot of bad press lately that he has, I think, earned. This guy sounds like he's kind of a douchebag. Sorry, it's slander. It's not libel. If it's written, it's libel. If I say it, it's slander. He was disqualified for his role in this crash, and I don't know if you guys saw it, but he rode Van Gils into the barriers, causing him to crash. Obviously saying it was a sprint. It was, it was a deviation from the sprint line. There was a disqualification, things like that. But some of the sprint tactics that we're seeing on a more consistent basis of some of these riders not holding their lines, not staying on where they're supposed to go, and there's so much. It just seems to me like there's just so much more on the line at every single race these people are going to. Is that a part of the culture? Are we going to be seeing more potential, damaging incidents like this just because every time the gun goes off, it's all or nothing? I didn't see the incident. I watched the start of the race, and I'm not going to lie, I completely fell asleep. Well, I knew Wellens was going to do what he did, and I saw him launch, and I went, shit, that's it. And the next thing I knew, it was morning.
Mm-hmm.
But to know about something like this and know that you've got these. Has it always been this way? I mean, I'm trying to think back in my mind about sprinting tactics and
always.
things like that.
Vinokurov, Jamaluddin Abdou-Japarov.
Yeah.
He was notorious for that. He would even have his head down. He even crashed himself out. Let's see here. There's a couple I was trying to think about. What was his name? Nace, who rode for Cofidis. He was... Is it Nacer? Something... I can't remember his name.
Okay.
But he was into boxing and stuff, but he was notorious for getting... and people do that. And the incident with Groenewegen and Jakobsen.
Yeah.
It's been going on for ages. It's just not necessary. I think it's interesting... The more you start looking at some of these crashes, and they're talking about, there's deviations and roundabouts, and they're doing a great job of trying to get around it, but they can't remove every object.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the crashes that I've noticed, and I don't have any data to back it up, are just usually riders just taking chances.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing. And then the speeds, because of the damage is there, because the speeds are way higher.
Mm-hmm.
Way higher. And it's not it's the speeds that back in the day, the last hour and a half was full gas. Now it's a 5 hour full gas. People are running they got on the radio saying there's a roundabout or there's road furniture up ahead, and every team gets that, and they're all trying to get into position so there isn't a pinch. There's going to be a pinch down.
Yeah,
and that's
they know
riders are. I got to get here, and the other guy has that same intention, and no one's given it's not worth it. We have another 100K to go.
Yeah,
type thing. So,
do you equate it to that fact that that there is more information being given to the riders, and that's creating it, or is it the speeds and the equipment, or is it that courses aren't what they used to be? I mean, is there more traffic furniture? It's everything involved.
Yeah. I don't think there's one thing. I don't think gear restrictions is going to do anything about it. I don't. We've got faster. I mean, I can guarantee you the clincher wheels that I had in 1988.
Oh God!
Compared to now are completely different.
Yeah.
So,
but
yeah.
Okay. There we go. All right. Where was I going to go from here? I'm going to go straight into the segments, baby. It's time. We're already at segments. Jackson's got to move the gigantic bike bag out of the way because Paul's going to his spring training camp. I still don't like you for that.
Oh, really?
Because Sam's leaving for his tomorrow.
To Hawaii.
Yeah. He picked out a 150K ride that he was thinking of doing.
Yeah.
Which is okay. great for you, man.
Yeah.
I bet your wife's just like, you're gonna what?
Yeah.
You oh okay, bye. Love you for now. And you're going down to the desert and everything like that. And I was seriously in that bit, that segment for the perspective. I am seriously considering Walla Walla just because I looked up areas in our region that are kind of a banana belt. And Jack, I know, is going to scream at me as soon as he hears this, going, "You got to come here to Hoquiam.
It only rains a little bit."
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I would love to be able to find that classic, where I could pretend to be a pro for 5-6 days and just sit in my RV and ride my bike and then.
I did a camp in Walla Walla with the River City Red team. We had like a big crew down there. We had, I think, 12 people, and it was a bit much for the number. I mean, I enjoyed the time off the bike, but we had such a variety of levels of riders. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
And so it as part of like the original part of River City Red, you feel a little obligated of not going as hard as you want and just kind of like picking up the stragglers. You know what I mean? You're kind of hurting a little bit and hurting, not hurting.
Hurting. Yeah.
So, but still, it was a good time, and I think there was camaraderie was created with the team and stuff. That was fun. But we didn't have like the best weather.
Yeah.
We were down there in March.
Shit. Okay.
So.
See, that's where I don't know why I feel the urge to do something like this. I have a week off. I could stay here. I could stay in my home and I could go for rides every day, but I'm going on rides I've already done. And I'm going on routes I already know and stuff like that. And sometimes it's kind of just cool and go someplace and explore. I don't know. It might be a waste of time.
Nah, I don't think so. But I think it's better when you're going with someone else.
Really?
You know what I mean? I think a large group, like I said, is probably not all that good. 3, 4, 5 guys, and then going out like.
And kicking each other's teeth in.
Yeah, exactly. It'd just be, but you're on different terrain or riding in bigger groups like when I'm going to be down in the desert.
Yeah.
I mean, they have these planned rides on every day. There's a big group ride that rolls out. So, and that's where you're going to get your speed and then you're with your friends or your teammates at the end of the day. You know what I mean? You're doing your, like a end of a race, like what we did at Tour de Bloom drink.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So you're telling me I should save my money and just register for Tour de Bloom drink?
Yep.
It's a good time because imagine the story you get to tell afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
I fly
after Tour de Bloom or
after
after training camp?
After Tour de Bloom. Yeah. Tour de Bloom. How could I? Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be gassy. That's all we're gonna get out of ball. It's like, oh my god, I had so much fizzy water.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get to segments tonight, you guys. Tonight's segments brought to us by our friends at Big Barn Brewing, official post-ride beverage of and fuel of the Packfiller podcast. Tonight we have 3 excellent selections to choose from. Be sure and check out Big Barn's elixirs at area stores, and be sure to visit them in Spokane's beautiful Green Bluff area. Not a bad place to finish a ride, if you ask me. I want to do that this year. I want to do some rides in the Green Bluff area.
Oh,
I used to do it so many years ago. We had, in fact, that state championship medal in front of Paul was earned in Green Bluff. That gold state championship medal. I was somebody. I just want that to be known that that's why they're in the bar, because nobody can take them away from me. I got nothing left.
That was we redid that course, River City Red.
You did?
It back, yeah. I think it was 2014, 13.
Oh, that was with the long back climb, though. I did that one. No, this one was different. This one went down back the other side, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And we finished, it was almost like a downhill sprint, and we finished right at the Grange there. So it was downhill and then a quick uphill to the finish. It was a good one.
Yeah.
I did that version, though, the River City Red one.
Yeah.
And Chris Lucas and I sprinted.
Yeah.
I remember that. I was on a steel bike.
Yeah.
Heavy steel bike.
Which one?
I was on the Elephant because remember,
you were?
I tore I'm so strong. I've always had this in me that I tore the derailleur off of your Harry Gary.
The front?
I tore the front derailleur.
Front derailleur off the Harry Gary.
It broke the hanger off?
It was a braze-on, and now it's a clamp because, I remember I filed it off, and I just put a clamp on derailleur on
How did that break?
Jackson's just massive. He just shifts so. It was his arm strength, shifting that.
Did you ever tell Gary about that?
Oh God, no.
He would have fixed it for free. That's the deal.
And it was in we were doing a drill.
We were doing a camp, and we were doing.
I did build that one.
drills.
We were doing skill drills, and I think somebody just hooked it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I didn't build that one.
No, we were doing bump drills and stuff like that. So it was, it's not a big deal. Not a big deal. Tonight with Paul Main and Changing Times, we have got. Okay, I'm going to try it. Verastet de rostet. Verastet de rostet.
Yeah.
Was like
No, it's Verastet dir rostet,
rostet,
which means if you rest, you rust.
Okay.
It's a German saying, and it's one of those things that they have this reputation of working hard.
I want a metal headstone now,
Do you?
and with that on it,
Yeah.
where I get buried, and I want it to rust.
Mm-hmm.
Get
If
copper,
you rest,
let
you
it-
rust.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
like
just
it.
like this, you're just
Yeah,
going to
see?
fade away and be worthless.
Yeah, I told you to come visit.
Could have polished me at least. So yeah, I heard that it came up. There's all kinds. They have tons of little sayings that, like my wife's grandmother used to say, make her go to the grocery store, and this is over in Germany and stuff. And she would say, anything over 5 items you can write down. You have to remember it. And she goes, what if I forget? And there was a German saying, I'm not going to even butcher that one. It says, what you forget in your head, you'll remember with your legs. You're just going to go back and you're going to have to get it again. Yeah. And that was just one of those things. You should be able to keep 5 items in your head. So, but anyway, so what made me think about this was like racing, of course, and we're talking about racing, that I know that everybody is extremely rusty. The very first Thursday night training race, it's always chaotic.
Hey, that's my best race of the year because everybody sucks.
Yeah. Well, it's just even being able to be that confident that make it, things just come back. You can train all you want, but when you get in a race, it is completely different. And Jack and I beat on all the time about, how many races we'd do in a week. And it was like, that was just all, training was one of those things you just spun your legs out because we were racing so much. But you start making decisions just like, you know exactly when to hit that gap. No, I'm not chasing that breakdown, blah, 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 blah. But it's that time away. If you only do a couple of those races, anybody who raced, this is my opinion, I don't worry about people out training me. The ones that go to the most races, those are the ones I'm more concerned about. Because I'm rusty and I haven't been going to those races because I've been resting. So,
I love that. I want to live that way. I want to live with that mentality. But you've got these riders who are coming off of a full Zwift campaign, who can maintain an FTP of 375 watts and just ruin that theory. Don't you think, to an extent?
No. I mean, no. I mean, if they're going to, it just depends on the course. It depends on who's there. I mean, if you have the smarts, you can let those people just pull. You're not going to let, you have to learn. I mean, if you know this is this guy's tactic. Usually those people who can just crank out the watts, they're not tactically smart as a general rule. There's some that can do that, but they don't do it all the time. You watch like Will Hardin or NorCal Cycling, even though those guys could probably have the potential to do that all the time, they're saving it up for the right time. And that's part of racing. You don't always get it right all the time, but you can use the clown that's always, he's going to go out, he's in that group, this breakaway is going to stick because he's going to pull 90% of the time.
Yeah.
You know, that type of thing. So you got to use that knowledge. You know, you're not racing against wattage. You're racing against, that's what racing's all about, is strategy and whatever your strengths and their weaknesses.
So when this gets posted, the show gets posted, and then we take the clips and post those individually as shorts online, and something gets taken out of context.
There will be.
And just as this last one with the banned time trial frames, that, by the way, the entire triathlon market came basically marching up to the door, demanding an apology and accusing us, accusing none of us of having the skill of being able to ride a time trial bike, which I truly want to. Those are the times when I'm glad I have a wireless keyboard and I just put it away, because those are the times when I truly want to go, hey, dick face. I was racing a bike when your idea of a good time was sitting in front of cartoons and not on a fudgesicle. So shut the fuck up. There's my F for the show. I want to say that stuff, and I just did on a hot mic, but it cracks me up when people take that stuff out of context and don't understand it.
Which is fine.
I said many times.
Let's put them on a Da Vinci. See who.
Yeah, exactly. I said many times in that discussion, those comment sections, saying, "Hey, you got to listen to the whole show in context," because at no point did we say we should ban triathlon frames.
No,
we said time trial frames, and so it was funny. It was hilarious how much how many legs that little clip got.
Yeah,
you and Sam. I wasn't seen in any of it, so nobody could chase me down in the grocery store, which is a good thing. Jackson, you got something for us tonight? All right, I got to mention the Jackson's Cool Down segment brought to us by Panache Cyclewear. And my copy for Panache is, look, we can't all ride like Remco, but we don't have to look like we bought our kit at a yard sale. Panache is about the style, the ride, bold designs, perfect fit. If you look good, you suffer less. This is just a proven fact. Check them out at panachecyclewear.com. What you got for us, Jackson?
So, something that's been on my Instagram feed a lot lately is this one quote. And I'm going to say what it's from, and you're going to laugh, but just stick with me,
okay? You're not going to say Ted Lasso.
No. Okay. So, this quote that I'm about to tell you is from Cars, the movie, Cars 3. And it sounds ridiculous, right? But it's probably one of the best quotes I've ever heard in my entire life. And it says,
"Ka-chow."
Well, not quite. But they're actually interviewing Lightning McQueen, and they say, how did you get all your wins? Like, it's crazy what you were able to do. And he responds with, I don't know. I just never thought I couldn't. And honestly, I was like, that is like the best way to live. I love that. Like, not doubting yourself, always just being like, I just never thought I couldn't do this. Which, like, I am going to keep that quote on me for the rest of my life.
I'm writing it down.
Yeah. And so with that, I'm going to take that into my professional life, my racing life, a lot of things, just thinking, I just never thought I really couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And so I guess my question for you guys is there a quote like that you take with you?
Oh, wow.
All over the place? Or is there some sort of mantra that you created yourself that goes with you wherever you go? Paul, do you have one?
Not really. But there's quite a few out there that I've
kind of started with one with your segment too.
Yeah,
that's a good one. No, it's
not something that I think about all the time. But that's kind of how, I guess, in a way, you kind of live your life. I mean, that's the way I've always been. Is that I've never been extremely talented, but I did put my work into it to get to that level, and that's part of my joy is the work. And if I don't achieve my goals, I know that workload is take me there. So, but I think it's a great quote because you have to go in believing that you're already defeated if you think that, there's a chance that I might not win. You always, I mean, even when I try to be realistic, it's like, but there is that opportunity. Like, I haven't trained for, so many days. I don't really expect to be number one, but God dang it, I'm going to give it everything, and I use all my ability, my experience to win anyway. Yeah. And that's how you enter the race. So,
yeah. Yeah.
It's, before I give you mine, it's so, when you said that tonight, it struck me. This is not meant to be braggadocious or anything like that. I have lived most of my life with that type of a mentality. It's like, hey, yeah, sure, of course we can do this. Let's do it. Let's go. Why, if not us, then who? That kind of a mentality. And I lived a majority of my cycling career that way, but I lost it somewhere. And it is the hardest thing in the world to get back. I have spent, obviously, the last 15, 20 years, almost 20 years, trying to get back that mentality where I show up at a start line going, bitch is mine, you know, or not necessarily like I'm going to be the one who's going to win, but I deserve to be here. I deserve to be up in the front like this. And when it gets hard, no, it's just as hard for these guys. I've lost that and I got to find that back. And that's something I keep talking about incessantly. And I don't know what it's going to take to make that happen. Is it going to be luck? Is it going to be some, you know, just magical event that happens to occur? Did I finally get my training right and, you know, am that much better when I come to a race start? That's the mentality I keep going through, thinking that that's what it is. It may, you know, who knows? Who knows where it sits? It's that lump of shit 3 feet above my ass. That's a good quote.
That's your mantra?
No, actually,
okay.
There you go.
mine was, strangely enough, observe the turtle, for it only makes progress when it sticks its neck out. I've always liked that one. Because you gotta be able to go, let's see what happens. You know, what's the worst that could happen? I think the worst thing that could happen is not trying. So yeah. So that's my philosophy.
Yeah,
That's what I live by.
just interesting.
Yeah.
You know, we've all got different perspectives on this life. So finding a way to put it into words is interesting.
I like it, dude. I like that one. Thank you very much, gentlemen. It's become too popular to not do. Should I give it a rest after this show for a couple weeks?
That's up to you.
The trivia section just keeps getting popular and more popular. So, gentlemen, we're at the back of the race. The road is opening up to traffic, and I can see the headlights in the distance. It is time for the Broom Wagon, the final segment where we sweep up your remaining brain cells, and I'm going to throw trivia at you. If you get it wrong, you get swept. Try to stay on the wheel. Tonight's format is real or fake, gentlemen. Real or fake. You are going to respond with it is real or no way, no how. Deep Tech and Dirty Secrets edition we are going with tonight. So I will just simply ask you if you think it is real or fake, and then I will count your points accordingly and judge you as you don't want to be. Okay? First one, the invisible motor. In 2016, the UCI officially confirmed the first case of technological fraud, a motor in a competitive race. The motor was hidden not in the seat tube, but inside the rear hub of a cyclocross race. Is that real or is that fake?
Real.
I was going to also say real, not because I just listen to Paul.
You both say real. Well, the answer actually is fake because you weren't listening to the details. While it was a confirmed case, it was found in the seat tube bottom bracket area, not the hub. Hub motors are still a white whale for UCI testers. So no points there. Number two, the golden ratio. There is a UCI rule that states that the nose of the saddle must be at least 5 centimeters behind a vertical pane passing through the bottom bracket spindle unless a rider has a morphological exception. Is that true or false that the nose of the saddle must be at least 5 centimeters behind a vertical pane passing through the bottom bracket spindle? That's a hard one to read.
I would say that is real.
It is real.
That is real. Both of you get the point. There we go. Yeah, nice job. It is actually rule number 1.3.013. It's the bane of existence for many short leg time trialists, which it would be if you imagined that. Number three, the champagne cooling rule. Until 1960, Tour de France regulations officially prohibited the use of frozen or chilled beverages because team doctors believed cold liquids caused intestinal shock and immediate muscle cramping in hot stages. Is that real or is that false?
Man, I kind of want to say that's real.
So this is during the race? Or at the end of the race?
Until 1960, they believed the use of frozen or chilled beverages because team doctors believe cold liquids intestinal shocks.
That's real.
Real? You guys are both right. It says here, riders used to drink lukewarm wine and beer because chilled water was genuinely feared by medical experts.
Didn't Eddie B believe that too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
that was in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like lukewarm beverage.
Yeah, he didn't want ice cold stuff.
No.
Yeah.
It was miserable.
Hot tea, though, if you're
Tea
cold.
was hotter than hell, and I guarantee that bottle I drank it out of was caked with BPAs.
Oh, yeah. But I remember my grandfather also saying, you want to drink warm because it hydrates you better.
Yeah.
But in reality,
because your body can digest it quicker.
Right.
I remember.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I know it's also true with dogs when they're overheating, and not to give them really cold. You need room temperature.
Room temperature water.
It shocks. Yeah.
Well,
but probably not so much with humans.
Yeah. We are currently sitting, you guys both got that right, so we are currently sitting still even. Number 4, the hollow crank set. In early 2000s, a brand called Mythic released a set of carbon cranks filled with pressurized helium to supposedly reduce rotating mass and provide a marginal buoyancy effect. Is that real or is that fake?
I feel like it's fake.
Man, I think I remember somebody trying to do that. I'll just to be the opposite and break the tie. It's fake.
Okay, you both said fake.
We did.
Oh, sorry.
You both
I'll
said
go
fake.
real. I'll go real.
Okay, Paul said real
Yep.
because the answer is fake.
Uh-huh.
While companies have done a lot of stupid things with carbon, pressurized helium buoyancy is a bridge too far.
You should put helium in track tires.
Yeah, I do remember that. I do remember that. Number 5, the $200 sock find. A World Tour pro was once fined 2,000 Swiss francs because his socks featured a sponsor logo that was 1.5 centimeters too high, violating the commercial space regulation on rider apparel. Did a rider receive a 2,000 Swiss franc fine because his logo was too big? Real or fake?
I think it's real.
I think it's real, and I thought it was a woman.
It just says World Tour Pro. Answer. It is real. UCI notoriously pedantic about the size and placement of logos on non-essential clothing. So you guys both got that. Why do I add the point? Just because I like making little marks. Number 6, the 1x chain ring no drop law. The UCI regulations mandate that any rider using a 1x setup on a road race must have a chain catcher or a narrow, wide tooth profile to prevent mechanical DNFs from blocking the road. True or false?
I feel like we've talked about this, and I feel like it's real.
You think it's real?
False.
It is false. Paul's back. He's with the point there. It is fake. It is fake. UCI doesn't care if your chain drops.
You're the idiot.
Yeah. Number 7, I think we brought this one up. The Pantani disc brake ban. In 1999 Giro, the UCI briefly banned the use of experimental disc brakes because they feared the rotors would act as circular saws in a mass pileup. Is that true or is that fake?
I thought that one was fake.
It is fake.
It is fake.
There's no disc brakes until.
Yeah. I do remember when disc brakes first came out. Everybody was paranoid about it, though. They thought they were just like having a
Well, some people
meat
did get
slicer
caught.
in the peloton.
There's some it didn't have to rotate,
Yeah.
but if you catch a knee in a pileup,
Yeah.
it'll catch
yeah.
you. You
Chain
know.
ring.
Chain ring, same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Broken
Anything.
carbon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, like somebody's elbow. Wasn't it your elbow you got when you said on Steve's bike?
I think my ass broke his bike.
Yeah, but did you get something from the frame?
Oh, I did get a little puncture
Yeah,
wound.
yeah,
That's true.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
yeah. Well,
I
guess-
remember your crashes better than you do.
Yeah, It's shocker
was-
why my wife drove me home.
Yeah.
Smooth off.
And that rock's right over there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Right there.
Keeping it just to remind me and help with those mental issues I'm dealing with, apparently. Number 8, we're getting there. Secret break. During the 2024 season, World Tour team was investigated for using a thermal reactive brake pad that became grippier as it got hotter, allowing for much later braking into hairpins on alpine descents. Is that real or is that fake?
What year was that?
2024.
I feel like it's got to be fake.
Yeah, I say fake.
It is real. Several teams have experimented with compound glazing and thermal coatings to manage the heat on carbon rims and disc rotors for better modulation. Can you believe that?
Sounds kind of stupid.
No, because they get that fade. I actually was with a friend, the first generation of disc brakes. He's a bigger guy coming down Mount Spokane. Again, another Mount Spokane situation.
Stop doing that.
And he's like, oh my gosh, he had brake fade. I
Really?
mean, the guy's over 200 pounds, and they
That's
had
crazy.
40 rotors. But he was riding the brakes all the way down. And you start hitting those hairpins, and so
I've been
it'll
on
fade. It'll just start
I've
fading.
been on a tandem where I've had them start to fade on me before. Back, our tandems are.
That's a butt
rim
puckering situation.
It is.
Yeah.
Especially when there's two of you.
Yeah.
I've never had brake fade.
You're
It's-
light enough, and that's
Yeah.
the technology's gone way up.
Number 9, the tarmac temperature rule. If the road surface temperature exceeds 50 degrees Celsius or 122 Fahrenheit, the UCI Extreme Weather Protocol allows the race jury to neutralize the final 3K of a stage to prevent tires from rolling off rims due to glue tape failure.
That's
True or
an
fake?
old. glue tape. I mean, that's tubular
That's old
stuff.
school. That's old school. Yeah.
I think there was a period there. If they wrote the rule, then Cancellara, they made that rule with Cancellara. They actually stopped underneath an overpass. I can't remember whether it was a desert race or somewhere. It was like in Fahrenheit.
Are you trying to explain this to yourself?
Yeah, I'm kind of talking it through. I think it's true, but you're throwing me off with the tape, the glue thing. So
I do too, because it feels like a rule, like how Idaho still has a rule technically of like if you get out of jail, you're owed a horse and a gun.
Yeah,
I feel like it's a rule that they're like nobody will remember, but we'll just keep it around anyways.
Okay.
Nobody runs tubulars, so
you know what?
Nobody needs a gun. Well, no horse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are absolutely brilliant ways to explain it, but it's fake.
Nah.
The extreme weather protocol exists for snow or high winds, but they've never neutralized a race for hot asphalt. And they just tell riders to stay upright. Mm-hmm. Or when I was in Milwaukee, they didn't neutralize the race because the bridges were like a cheese grater. They just told you not to stick your fingers out.
When you crash, make a fist.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, we are at a tie coming into the last question.
Oh, wow.
Are we ready?
Uh-huh.
Jackson's yawning, so it must be that riveting of an exciting thing. Gentlemen, finally, number 10, the 21% gradient limit. There is a gentleman's agreement, but no formal UCI rule that prohibits race organizers from including any paved road with a gradient exceeding 25% for more than 500 meters. Is that true?
I feel like it's false.
I say it's true.
Jackson says false. Paul says true. It is true. While organizers love steep anything over 25% for a sustained period, it becomes a safety hazard for team cars and motorcycles, which cannot climb or stop at those angles.
That's lame.
So what that means...
It's a lame rule.
It
is. That would be exciting.
To watch teams burn clutches and motorcycles tip over.
Well, even he's probably on the perspective of a rider watching.
Yeah, I'm not thinking about the.
So the Angliru is the first time they had that, and what's his name, Miller, David Miller, got so frustrated. They were throwing triples as before, like compact gears. He just took his. He swore and said, "This is just ridiculous." I think he threw his bike, or that might have been another incident. Just said, "This is so stupid."
And
now it's steep.
Now it's a staple. Of the Vuelta.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just and you hear of. I mean, I do hear stories of cars burning out.
Oh, easy.
Going up this.
They do it on the Koppenberg too. Yeah. During the Tour of Flanders, they have to go around it. They used to take the cars up there and they like burn up.
Maybe just get a better car.
Yeah. Well, these are steep, and you're going. Those don't have automatics. Most of them are riding a clutch.
I have never driven a Skoda, but I have heard nothing positive about Skodas. No. So I don't know. Maybe somebody who's listening to this who owns a Skoda can, take personal offense to it and send me a nasty email or something like that, just saying, "Hey man, I love my Skoda."
Skodas are in the U.S.
No, that's what I'm saying. We're not just in the U.S. Yeah, we are a global entity.
They need those Toyota Trail Hunters that give you like traction control as you go up like 50% grade or 90% grades.
Yeah. All right, that closes out the Broom Wagon. Gentlemen, thank you again for playing along. And everybody, if you like the Broom Wagon, keep letting me know. And if you think it's dumb and I need to throw it away, then just shut up, because I don't really want your opinions. No, I'm kidding. There we go. Gentlemen, as we go into the end of yet another Packfiller podcast, episode 515, of course we end with the final K, the final question. Gentlemen, actually, before I get to it, now I'll do the question first. What's the best breakfast cereal in your opinion? What is the best one and why?
Cap'n Crunch, the thing that comes to my mind.
Just now, Cap'n Crunch, no Crunch Berries? Just Cap's classic.
I like the berries.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course, I don't eat it, but if I did, shredded wheat.
Oh my God!
I love shredded wheat.
How freaking old are you? Not mini wheats with the.
No sugar on there. Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. Shredded wheat.
Do you spoon sugar on it?
A little bit, depends, or drip of honey on it. There you go.
Wow.
I don't know how to
do
do
it.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
Bran. There used to be crackling oat bran. That was the best. Have you ever had crackling? I don't think it's around.
Tell me you're in your 60s
crack.
without telling me you're in your 60s.
When I was a kid, this colon blow. I mean, you are not.
Surprised you didn't say gravel.
Yeah,
gravel and
bowl of rocks
and whole milk.
That's right.
Warm.
If I don't
straight from the cow. Fuck that pasteurization.
It is tasty. I love brand anything. Yeah. I'm pretty regular.
All right.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna go with the classic. Frosted Flakes, baby. Classic Frosted Flakes. I love them. Yes,
sweet.
all the sugar and everything like that.
Nothing wrong with it.
They're just so good. You guys, thanks for being here once again in the OG3. Huge thanks to Thomas Hammer for the energy, Big Barn for the studio taps, Panache Cycleware for the style, and all of you for listening. Until next week, of course, keep the rubber side down, like and subscribe, and do all that stuff that the hip young kids say. Yo, yo, yo. Bro. I just lost all of our under 20 demographic.
Yeah.
Oh, well, they got homework anyway.
Yeah.